Good morning. This is Allison Penna, aka Bad Widow, and today is about the ABCs of business, sales, and life. This week I am doing a gallery show of David's work, 28 paintings hung in a gallery on North Haven, Maine. And the thing about gallery sitting is that you sit around and you wait for people to come in, and then when they come in, you have to snap into action. You have to immediately be alive and awake and ready to talk to them or gauge what their level of interest is or tell stories. So there's a slowness, kind of a meditative process in which you're seeing the paintings going off the wall, going into new homes, being enjoyed by other people, and then getting into action, getting into conversations with people. And those are two very different paces. If we think about sales, and truthfully, I don't like sales, except that I want to reframe this idea of always be closing, because we are always closing. So in the gallery, to continue with this example, it's a question of what is the next step. So always being closing determines what the next step is. If they're just wandering through, they've come off a boat, they're not going to be buying a painting and taking it back on the boat. Not happening. So in that case, the close is enjoy the show, feel free to ask any questions you have. If someone is wandering through and looking at a particular painting, it's maybe telling a story about that painting, maybe telling a story about Dave. What is the next step? Are they serious? It's kind of taking a gauge. And then the third thing is they're looking and looking and looking at one painting, and that's a different conversation. That's imagine this on your walls. Where would it go? That's having them see themselves owning that piece of artwork in their own home. Those are three different places, three different frameworks. Always be closing doesn't mean that I get the sale every time. It means I make an assessment of where they are and I take the next appropriate step. I have the next conversation, because in reality, sales is all about relationships, but the relationships are determined by the level of interest of the person you're talking to. And that's true in everything. That's true when you're dating. That's true when you're looking for a job, when you're looking for investors. Whatever you're doing, you always be closing. ABC doesn't mean you get the sale in that moment necessarily, although you can. It does mean you ask enough questions, ask enough questions and get enough answers so that you know what is your next step. Where are you going next? Is it enjoy the show? Is it send people in to see it if you've enjoyed it? Is it please sign the guest book? What is the thing that you need to do? Take a postcard. It's got the website on it. What's your next step? So always be closing is something that we are doing all the time. And if we're not in sales, we pretend that we're not. But we are presenting ourselves. We are talking about ourselves. We are interested and interesting. And there's a pace about it that's fast and a pace about it that's slow. This is the ebb and flow like the tide. The go fast is ask the questions and have the conversations that determine what the next question is and the next conversation. Go slow is visualize, imagine, affirm what you want to have happen and begin heading in that direction. Trust yourself. Know yourself. Don't doubt yourself. That's it for today. Allison Penna, aka Bad Widow, and I will see you tomorrow.